Kulanday Francis of India.
His Excellency President Princino S. Aquino III, trustees of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, distinguished guests, fellow awardees and friends. Greetings to you all from India. The response from my heart is thanks for the recognition of IVDP through this award to me. When the award was announced, I was not affected. But few hours later, a flurry of calls came in from all quarters, lavishing appreciation following media reports of the award. This was followed by interviews with the press and TV channels. Congratulations poured into my email box. People queued up in my office to facilitate me. I began to understand the meaning of this award to the society around me. Then I slowly woke up to the multitude of appreciation that brought to light the significance of work done in one corner of Tamil Nadu, India. Thanks to the Foundation trustees for their gigantic task in scanning across India and locating IVDP's work for recognition. The road which I passed through was not one of roses, it was instead full of thorns. It was not easy for me to realize my objectives. This honor acknowledges IVDP's poverty elevation program and the sustainable solution it found to the problem of people who face the drought that forced them to migrate in search of livelihood. The uniqueness of IVDP is that it is for the people, by the people, and of the people, where the lives of SHG members are secure, savings are safe, and loans are available at affordable cost. It is members focused, members want, autonomous, and with a built-in system that ensures higher percentage of repayment. Success goes to our women members who proved that community can be transformed by them through savings and livelihood creation, through mutual cooperation and understanding. I am happy to place on record the fact that IVDP had changed the outlook of banks towards women in the villages. The inaccessible credit became accessible to the so-called ineligible poor women. Creditworthiness in turn groomed them as a reliable clients. Now they are regarded as a first-rate clients by the bank. Thus our model is sustained by our women in the process of IVDP's ongoing activities. At this juncture, I wish to express my thanks to many, my special thanks to my parents, the Fathers of Holy Cross, my life partner, and the IVDP team for their constant support and encouragement in sustaining my motivation in my work. I would like to sum up my IVDP experience by asserting a fact of life, that is, to give toiling people an appropriate opportunity and they will multiply the outputs in several folds. The requirement at present is not praying lips, but bona fide helping hands. I would like to accept this award and the honor and credit that goes with it on behalf of IVDP's 150,000 women members who are the pillars behind the recognition landmark achievements. My final word of response to this award is எல்லா புகழும் இந்திய பெண்களுக்கே. நன்றி, வணக்கம். Thank you.
Sierra Rizwana Hassan of Bangladesh.
His Excellency President Benigno S. Aquino III, trustees of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, distinguished guests, fellow awardees, and friends. Let me first of all express my heartfelt gratitude to the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation for giving me this honor and for recognizing my work for environmental justice. This indeed is recognition of and a definite encouragement for all movements around the world for the protection of Mother Earth. My journey as an environmental lawyer started back in 1993 when I joined Bangladesh Environmental Lawyers Association, BELA, which embedded the visionary and dynamic leadership of its founder, Dr. Muhyiddin Farooq. The BELA leadership inspired young lawyers like me to work for the cause of environment and explore innovative ways of using the law to defend rights and denounce injustices. Our journey for environmental justice has been a relentless one. We at BELA are proud to be associated with a cause that deeply affects the life of every Bangladeshi and indeed every human being around the globe. We began our first fight against the plundering of our natural resources by those privileged corporations and bodies who enjoyed a long culture of impunity. Our efforts were aimed at halting such trends of plunder by subjecting the wrongdoers to due process of law. We had to rebut erroneous economic arguments and challenge mindsets, making our job eventful, challenging, adventurous, and thrilling. We believed the law was for all and had to be ensured for all equally. We are fighting for the rights of our farmers, our fisher folk, and our forest dwellers. We stand for the protection of the trees, the hills, the lakes, and the rivers, to whom we all are indebted for our well-being. We continue to question the faulty, short-sighted, and exploitative path of development that destroys the natural resource base. Our fight is against deprivation, maladministration, and abuse of power. Due to the mighty vested powers involved in the game, the process of change has been cumbersome and lengthy. We live with hope and in the face of adversities gather strength from the force of truth and truth only. 19 years down the road, we may not claim to have righted all the wrongs. We are unable to paint a rosy picture, but we can boldly and strongly assert that now hardly any environmental wrong or any attempt to interfere with people's environmental rights in my motherland goes unattended or unchallenged. Although we may seem unconventional in what is considered traditional legal practice, this recognition by the Magsaysay Award Foundation today testifies that we are on the right track and reasserts the validity of our movement for environmental justice. This award, I firmly believe, will help strengthen the process greatly. With my full commitment to continue more rigorously in pursuing the cause of environmental justice, particularly for the poor, let me conclude by echoing the famous words of Martin Luther King. No, we are not satisfied, and we shall not be satisfied until justice pours down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen.
Yang Seng Koma of Cambodia.
His Excellency President Benigno S. Aquino III, trustee of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, distinguished guests, fellow awardees, and friends. First, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation for selecting me to be one of the 2012 awardees. It is a great honor for me, for SEDAC, our cooperating farmer, as well as for our national and international partners who have worked with us for the empowerment of small farmers. I consider this award as a recognition of our collective achievements in working for the improvement of the livelihood of small farmers during the past 15 years. In August 1997, I set up SEDAC as a small NGO with 7 people and initial support from a French NGO called GRET. We are now a leading Cambodian NGO which works for the improvement of the livelihood of more than 100,000 farmers. The progress in livelihood has been especially due to increasing rice production and income using the system of rice intensification (SOI) and developing cooperation among farmers in collective saving for mutual help. SOI is an innovative approach in sustainable rice intensification, which focuses on improving the farmer's practice in seed, plant, soil, and water management. It was developed in Madagascar by the priest Henri de la Lognier in the 1980s. I introduced SI to Cambodian farmers in 2000 with only 28 experimenting farmers. Now SI is considered by our national government and other partners as an important solution to poverty among small farmers. There are now around 200,000 SI farmers in Cambodia. So far, there is a generally accepted belief that the rice farmer can only increase rice yield by relying on the use of external input, such as fertilizer and pesticide and high-yielding varieties. This has contributed to creating an attitude of dependency and develop into a vicious cycle of poverty among rice farmers. With SI, we are able to prove that farmers can increase the rice productivity from 50 to 150% by using less or no external inputs, especially import fertilizer, pesticide, and external seeds. This is possible as farmers understand more about the huge natural potential of rice plant to produce higher yields. They have also developed the creative capacity to tap the natural potential of the rice plant by gradually developing their knowledge, skill, and practice in effective use of existing local resources, such as local varieties, local soil, and local water resources. The Ramon Magsaysay Award is not only a recognition for our past achievements. It is also an important encouragement for me and my colleagues to reinforce and expand our assistance to small farmers. For the next 10 years, we will focus on assisting subsistence rice farmers in Cambodia to become commercial organic farm entrepreneurs, producing healthy food to feed the society. We will also support them in working together to invest in cooperative rice mill run by the gasifier system. I consider this work as an important contribution to ensure long-term food, income, and energy security for our rice farmers. Thank you. សូមអរគុណ
Ambrosius Ruwindrijarto of Indonesia.
Thank you. His Excellency President Benigno S. Aquino III, trustees of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, distinguished guests, fellow awardees and friends. This response is dedicated to my wife and my daughter. To all fellow members of society and friends for their sustained advocacy to combat crimes against the ecology and humanity, and their initiatives and leaderships for a better world. This is also dedicated to AMAN in Indonesia, EIA, Telapak, and Samdana, my organizations. As with everything in life, there are two sides in our work that is being recognized tonight. Expose bad news, while also propose, create, produce, rejoice good news. On one side, we have the good news. We now have working models of how indigenous peoples and forest peoples have organized themselves into cooperatives, managing the forest and their livelihoods sustainably and profitably. They are the Koperasi Hutan Jaya Lestari in Southeast Sulawesi, Koperasi Wan Lestari Menoreh in Jogja, Koperasi Giri Mukti Wanatirta in Lampung, to name some of the pioneers. We also have Les and Serangan coastal communities who are pioneers in quitting cyanide fishing and coral mining and became sustainable fishers and coral reef advocates. But we are living in a world where indigenous peoples and their forests are still in ever-growing threat of destruction. Even as I'm standing here before you, people call me, and thanks for Mr. Rommel who bought me local SIM card, and report that their forest is being wiped out. A friend of mine, an indigenous peoples leader, called me last night, said that he and his family have been living many days and nights in Muaratai forest in East Kalimantan, keeping guard of their forest. They will protect that forest, whatever it takes, with their machetes, sumpit, and with themselves. I think that reminds us of a great past president. This might be just what the guy would do if he were there in East Kalimantan today, in this fight. Muaratai and other struggles that we indigenous peoples are facing today is the living example of all that is wrong and unjust with our environment. The pillaging of our forests, environmental crisis, biggest one in the world, recent history. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ramon Magsaysay Award is not about top accomplishment of mine. Rather, we are at a low. But as Ms. Abela said when she called me, I'm an emergent leader, and therefore we will be emerging upwards, onwards. I would like to report to you also that it is with joy and confidence that I will ask my colleagues at Wana Lestari Menoreh Cooperative in Jogja to manage the prize of this award by developing and running a social investment facility. The funds will be put in the cooperative and be dedicated to social security of many of our local leaders and activists and be used as a revolving fund for startups and emerging community and social enterprises. With all your help. For the people of Muaratai and other indigenous peoples in Asia, this award is a recognition and public statement that in fighting for their right to live and make decisions over their lives, they are not alone. And as we express our solidarity to the family of the passing Secretary Robredo and to the people of the Republic of the Philippines over the recent floods and typhoons, we express solidarity too. But may I call you tonight, distinguished guests, fellow awardees, the foundation family, and President Benigno Aquino to fill the void in our countries and in the region and provide leadership to bring about environmental and social solidarity. Mabuhay at maraming salamat.
His Excellency Benigno S. Aquino III, President of the Republic of the Philippines.